This is a photo walk along the seafront in Ryde on the Isle of Wight. I've got my Sony a6700 and Sony 70-350 with me. It's still a new lens to me and I absolutely love using it. So I'm just coming over the bridge here and there's this hovercraft parked on the other side, and what I'm trying to do here is use the fence or the railings to add a bit of depth. At the widest end, you know, this lens is 70, which is not particularly wide. If I'd have thought ahead, I would have brought my 24-105 with me, but for whatever reason I left the house with just the one lens. And as you can see, I've gone for quite a cold blue moody edit for this. And then as I come up here, I saw a little pigeon underneath the steps. I could see its eye peering out at me as I went up, so I went back to get it. This one takes me ages to frame. I'm not entirely sure why. I can't really remember what I was doing. Perhaps just looking through the steps, trying to work out what's the best composition. And there we go. I like that. So coming to the other side now, and yeah, this would have been much better with a wider lens, so I didn't take anything here because it was just too cropped in. This is actually my first time using the GoPro like this. I got it with the max lens mod and I am not sure if it's too wide or if it's okay. I wanted to get it so that I could get the horizon leveling when shooting vertically, and also I wanted to make sure I could get the camera in no matter what shot I was taking. So this is just a shot of some detail on the hovercraft, the propellers at the back. I'm right on the seafront now, and as you can see the tide is fully out. So with this shot I'm trying to use the green buoy in the foreground to create a bit of depth, and then I've got that fort in the background, which I think is No Man's Land fort. Tried a vertical shot first, but then I think I prefer this landscape crop without the buoy in the foreground. I tried a few more shots along the beach here, but none of these were worth keeping. But then this last one here, I think this works. I really like the layers of the water and the sandbank, and then the water, and then with the fort again in the background. And I just went, because the light here was pretty terrible this day, so I just went for black and white edit, which I don't often do, but I think this works really well. There was a hovercraft leaving from Ryde going over to Portsmouth, so I got a few shots of this, and I think this one where I zoom in, I think this is the best one. So this shot now is one of the two main reasons I was down here this morning. One of the shots I'm working on is a panorama of the Spinnaker Tower over in Portsmouth and then all the buildings along the seafront. Ideally I want this over the water and in much better light than this, better conditions. But it was good to practice the shot and see how it might look. So there it is. It's okay. And maybe actually having, with the tide out, you do get a bit more of a sense of the distance. That's interesting. But yeah, I will try again when the tide's in and hopefully in some better light, some more interesting light. So here I am again trying to use these buoys on the sandbank to create a sense of depth and distance to these shots. It was a bit of a common theme on this day. So I think this works out okay. I think it's quite nice with the two different colours in the foreground. Okay, here's a shot of one of the Isle of Wight's trains as it's coming back from the pier head. I think these carriages are from the late 70s or early 80s now, and they were a recent upgrade from the old 50s stock. So the other main thing I wanted to photograph this morning was the hovercraft coming back across the water from Portsmouth. And I got some shots of it way off in the distance, you can see here, and then I got some close up, you'll see in a minute. And these are the last photos I took this morning. I just took loads as it was getting closer. This is my favourite of all of those. You've got these interesting shapes and textures in the foreground that lead up to the hovercraft as it's coming across this little patch of water. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.